Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Goob here in the flesh. Doing a webcam video this time. Thought it'd be nice to switch it up a bit. So I'm just gonna be talking about some of the games that I played in the month of September. September was a great month for gaming. So many games dropped. And I'll also be discussing some games that I played at the end of August, but they basically came out in September in my head. So one of the games I played in September was Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, and I really enjoyed that game. Just from the sheer amount of mech customization to the PvP action to the mission structure, all that stuff. Like, the game was great. It wasn't my first time with Armored Core. I originally played Armored Core. I believe there was a port on the PSP called Armored Core Portable. Baldurs was probably my favorite boss fight of the year, definitely the hardest. Like, it was a great introduction to the game and basically allows you to see like how you can approach different missions. Like, I think before Baldurs, every mission I kind of just had the same loadout, but like after I fought that boss, I was just switching so many different loadouts. I was going back and replaying missions to get more money to try to like buy new weapons, and I finally settled upon a loadout that finally worked for me, and I beat that boss. Like, when I beat that boss, man, I was hype. Yeah, that was definitely probably the hardest boss I fought this year. And there were some other bosses I remember, like Ibis. Ibis was crazy. Like, I think the best part of that fight was like right when you thought the fight was over and the boss like gets back up and starts going even harder than before. Yeah, they really did their thing with that game, man. And the PvP was definitely dope as well. There was 1v1 PvP, and there was also 3v3 PvP. So basically, you can get with a squad of some people or with your homies or whatever, and kind of like coordinate your loadouts to make sure like maybe you have one guy who's like a lightweight, more DPS. You can have a heavier tank that like just firing off missiles, and you can have like kind of like a medium weight guy who's like running around and just trying to do as much damage as possible. But yeah, Armored Core 6 was great. The story wasn't like the strongest element, but I mean, it was serviceable. I know some people are like, oh, the story was ass, but like the story wasn't bad in my opinion. I also like how they gave you like choices, like the choices you like, the decisions you make, like for example, like depending upon which faction you chose, you get a different ending. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I gotta like replay the game and do New Game Plus and see like what the different options are when you choose different paths in the game. So then I played Baldur's Gate 3 and talk about what I know I talked before about how many options that Armored Core 6 gave you. The options and customizations in Baldur's Gate 3 were just insane, just from the amount of classes you can choose and the different races you can choose. Like, there was like a dwarf, be a dragon. That's the class I chose, a dragon. Be a human, an elf, and then it's like a dark elf, and I think you can be like a troll, or not a troll, but you can be a goblin. And there's just and the race that you choose in the game, the NPCs in the game will actually react and respond to your race. Most of the time they're just racist, but that's still cool though. And there's different classes. I know there was the bard class, there's like a mage class, there's a paladin, there's a bard, there's like a regular fighter. I believe I chose the warlock because like the warlock was pretty cool because warlocks can use any skills. You don't have to like level up to use your skills. You automatically have your skills that you can use. So I was running with the warlock build, and I had like a dragon, so that was fun. And then there's like a whole bunch of different party members you get, like Shadowheart, Starion. There's a flame chick, and then there's like the alien battle mage girl, and then they all have different like character arcs and dialogues, and everyone in the game super horny. I know everybody was hyped because there's like a sex scene with a bear. I didn't get that scene. that was kind of strange. So I didn't go for that scene. So there's so many different ways to like approach missions. Like, there's this one mission that I posted on TikTok where I poisoned the beer. So like in the Act 1, there's like a whole sub point where you have to like stop the goblins from invading this town and slaughtering all the villagers, right? So you have to defeat the 3 goblin leaders as well like the surrounding goblins. So you can just straight up go around and murk them all, but I found a way to like kind of do a little deceptively. I actually got this method from Shadow of Mordor because I know there's a mission where you can like poison their beer, and they'll be like, who poisoned the grog? And then they'll like run around and be scared or whatever. Like, you actually get a cutscene where they'll like actually do a toast, and you can decline the toast and just watch them all fall down dead. And they're like, who poisoned us? And then you can be like, it wasn't me. And then you have to use like deception. So Baldur's Gate 3 is like a D&D game. So you have to like do rolls and re-rolls in order to like do certain actions and stuff. So I was kind of not too familiar with like D&D style games because like I haven't really played any of them. I know Larian Studios also made Divinity First Sin, and Divinity First Sin 2. I wanted to play those games, but I had nobody to play with me, so I never got into them. I think they also made Conan Exiles, which is like a free-to-play game that I heard was really good. So yeah, Baldur's Gate. I definitely had to get back into Baldur's Gate because like I was playing it, I was streaming it, but I kind of fell off of it because I was playing Lies of P. Sea of Stars is another game that I've been meaning to play that I haven't had the most time to play, but I definitely got a few hours into. It reminds me so much of like Super Mario Superstar Saga because it has like this mechanic where like right before an enemy hits you or before you hit an enemy, you can press A or X on the PlayStation, and that basically triggers like on hit attack, and it gives like extra damage, or it helps you like basically receive less damage. And also has a like chrono trigger element where it's like I think it's like a 64-bit game, but I think it's also like 64 but 3D. The game is beautiful. That's probably one of the better looking games I've seen this year. For it to be in that like art style, beautiful art style. The music is amazing. I really like the music, and I haven't really gotten too far in the game yet, but the characters seem kind of compelling. I mean, it's an indie game, so my only thing I don't like about the game is like there's like literally no dialogue, so it's all text. So if you play in it late at night, you could get a little sleepy, as I did. But the game's great. I like the game. And then finally, we get into Lies of P. I know that's a game that like everyone's been raving about so far, and I'll be honest, the game is amazing. I really liked Lies of P. It really gave me that like Bloodborne, Dark Souls type of feel. It actually reminded me of another game I played this year, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Kind of like how it's like mainly parry based versus like, you know, if you played Elden Ring last year, Elden Ring is like, there was parry in Elden Ring, but like Elden Ring is more so dodge, roll out the way, hit, dodge, roll out the way, hit. Lies of P is more so the game is more focused upon you blocking and breaking your opponent's structure. Basically, you block, and the more you get perfect blocks, the more your opponent's structure breaks, and you can even break their weapons if you block enough. Regular enemies, if you get two or three perfect parries, they'll break their weapon. When bosses, you need, I think, about like maybe like 15 to 20 to break their weapon. So yeah, the story is like, you know, it's that typical like Dark Souls type of dark fantasy story. Everyone's dead. You got to figure out why everyone's dying, and there's like murder, killer puppets running around, and zombies, and biological experiments and stuff. I think my favorite part of the game is just like the customization. So like my build I was using for a majority of the end game was a like advanced or magic build where like you build a fire accumulation, and it's great because there's like a legion arm, or like basically you have like a kind of like in Sekiro, you have like an arm that you can customize with different outfit with like different types of like abilities. So the one I thought was the best was the flamethrower. So the flamethrower legion arm, it's like really OP, especially against like the zombie enemies or the carcasses are weak to fire, so you can literally just like, you can basically annihilate them before they even get to you, which is really good. If you level it up all the way, it has an ability where it can like create like an explosion, so that's great because it knocks them down and also deals like massive fire damage. And then like even the sword, it does massive fire damage on bosses. So any boss that's weak to fire, just like humanoid bosses that like can be weak to fire, it can proc that on them like really quickly, and it does insane DPS. So that was my favorite. I think another build I liked was there was like a dex or a technique build where you can like use like the twin dragon sword, which is basically like, it's essentially the Moonveil katana. Yeah, it has like the similar like animations, and it even has like a long range like kind of like, it's like secret ability. It has like that like Moonveil like beam sword slash, which is cool. They also had the Moonlight Blade in Armored Core 6. That was cool. But yeah, Lies of P is really, the only thing about Lies of P is like eventually sometimes they have like depressing dark corridor, Dark Souls gameplay where it's like you shimmying through a dark corridor praying that nothing jumps out and attacks you, and that can get to be a little, you know, it can get to be a little old sometimes, but I always love a fresh Souls game. Those games are always fun. I like that you can play them different ways. The parry system games really aren't my favorite. To me, they're kind of like almost like a rhythm game, so I'm not really that much into it. I prefer making my character like as beefy as possible and like attacking with like just super beefed up attacks. But I mean, I can get down with it. Yeah, Lies of P was great. I ended up getting the bad ending because I chose the wrong dialogue choice. So I'm definitely gonna replay the game, and I think there's 3 different endings in the game. There's if you choose the dialogue choice I chose, you like get the bad ending, and there's another one where you have to fight like the true boss, and then you get like the true good ending, and there's like another ending I think you have to do on like a perfect like liar run or something, and then like meet all the right, because the game is, you're Pinocchio, so you know the story of Pinocchio. He lies and his nose grows long, but in this game, if you lie, it kind of helps you become more human. So the more you lie, the more human you become. So like it'll like affect your options towards the end of the game. And then there's like a secret weapon that's tied to lying and whatnot. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. So yeah, the game was really good. Like I really enjoyed it. The gameplay was crisp. It's definitely one of the better games I've played this year. Personally, if I had to choose, if I had to make like a top 5 game so far this year, I would probably put like Tears of the Kingdom as number 1. I'm a Zelda fanboy, sue me. So Tears of the Kingdom 1. 2, I'd probably put Resident Evil 4 Remake. That game was fire. 3, I'd probably put maybe Fire Emblem Engage. I really like that game. Then I'd put probably Armored Core 6 and then Lies of P last. And the last game I played this month, last month in September, was NBA 2K24.
Look at this dude.
Okay, so I'm super excited because like on the 20th of this month, October, we're getting Spider-Man 2, the sequel to the 2018 version, and man, I can't wait. I'm seeing how you can like simultaneously switch between Miles Morales and Spider-Man. There's Venom in the game, and Spider-Man gets the black suit. None of these are spoilers, these are all been in the trailers that have come out, so definitely excited for Spider-Man. Expect lots of Spider-Man content. I don't know if I'm doing a whole walkthrough in the game, but I'm definitely gonna be dropping a review, some gameplay, maybe some like tips and how to get like secret stuff in the game. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch the video. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at SlimyGoob. And yeah, it's your boy Slimy Goob signing out. Peace.